What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Eternal Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob, and this is our fantasy series, Reckoning, bringing legends from the past and current stars from today, and we put them in some unique rivalries and championship situations. We are on the road to our next pay-per-view, Event Horizon, on August 1st, which is a Saturday. It will be free on YouTube. This episode, we will see Johnny Gargano taking on the Sandman. We'll see the Young Bucks taking on the Motor City Machine Guns. We will also see Randy Orton taking on Jon Moxley. For our opening contest of the night, Johnny Gargano is taking on the ECW legend, the Sandman, coming back from a brutal beatdown and injury a couple months ago at the hands of Bray Wyatt, the Fiend. Johnny Gargano, he makes his way down to the ring. He's looking determined here. He wants to get back to his winning ways. Despite the setbacks, he thinks that this may be a turnaround for him, because last week he very narrowly defeated Darby Allin after he got into a backstage brawl with the Daredevil and Darby. Sandman, he comes down through the crowd. He's got a beer in one hand, Singapore Cane in the other. Enter Sandman by Metallica's playing. The crowd, they're loving it. Once both men are in the ring, the bell sounds, and Gargano, he's immediately using his speed here. He's circling around the Sandman. Some quick strikes, kicks, combinations to try to frustrate the veteran, throw him off his game. But Sandman, he doesn't give chase. He's waiting. He's being patient. Until eventually, Johnny rushes in, and the Sandman catches him with a big right hand, and he drops Gargano down right in the mat. The crowd starts to understand here that there may be a difference in power dynamic here. The Sandman, he begins to dominate the match using heavy punches, lots of brawling, clotheslines, body slams, and even a brutal fallaway slam sends Gargano flying across the ring. Sandman goes for a cover. 1, 2, and Gargano kicks out. The Sandman laughs here. He pulls Johnny up by the hair of his head. He's telling him that you picked the wrong fight here, kid. And Johnny, big slap to the face of the Sandman. Sandman fires back with a big chokehold. Picks up Gargano, choke slams him onto the mat. 1, 2, no. Johnny barely kicks out here. The Sandman, he's growing frustrated, and he goes to grab that Singapore cane. He doesn't really care about getting disqualified in this matchup, but the ref takes it away. Sandman's arguing with the ref here, and he does have his back turned towards Gargano. Gargano gets his opening big super kick. Sandman is stumbling, and Gargano follows up with a big tornado DDT. Goes for the cover. 1, no! The crowd is erupting here. Johnny, he climbs the ropes, going for a big missile drop kick, but the Sandman catches him into a big power bomb. 1, 2, no! Another false finish here. Both men are looking exhausted. And the Sandman, he looks to charge for another attack. Gargano, he moves out of the way. Sandman crashes into the corner. Johnny, he's firing up. Super kick, and the Sandman falls down to his knees. Gargano grabs him and hits the one final beat DDT. 1, 2, 3, and your winner. Johnny Gargano wins this opening contest here. But after the match, Johnny, he's celebrating, but the camera, it pans away from the ring to the Chiefs' seats high above in the arena. There's a hooded figure. It turns out that it's Darby Allin. He's silent. He's watching. In the crowd, they're pointing up towards Darby Allin. And then once Gargano finally catches wind of what's happening, he looks up as well. And he notices Darby slowly stands, no emotion. And he disappears. Segment 2, we had a video vignette here. Bam Bam Bigelow. And the screen, it fades to black. There's a light bulb. And looks like a dark hospital room. It's swinging back and forth, and Bam Bam Bigelow, he's sitting alone in a chair. Medical bandages covers his eyes. from that brutal attack by Aleister Black and Brody King last week, where he was sprayed with that black mist and he was screaming that it burned. Bam Bam, he slowly lifts his head, goes on to say, Brody King, you wanted everyone to think that you destroyed me. He touches out the bandages. You thought taking away my sight meant that you were taking away the fight. And he slowly stands up. I've spent my entire life surrounded by fire. Fire doesn't scare me. Fire made me. And he steps closer to the camera now. Next week, he points at his bandages. These come off. And Brody, you better be ready. Because when I find you, you're going to learn exactly what happens when you play with fire. This ring cuts to black, and it's made official for next week. Brody King, Bam Bam Bigelow, one-on-one to settle their differences. We then pan backstage to the general manager's office of Adam Pearce. And Adam Pearce, he's sitting in his office with Penta, and Pearce acknowledges that there's been some issues between Penta and Seth Rollins for what seems like a while now, and there needs to be a conclusion to this before any more insanity happens. He tells Penta that Seth has crossed the line and there will be consequences. But before Penta can really respond to any of this, the door flies open. Damian Priest, our Vanguard champion, he's furious. And he marches directly towards Penta. And he tells him to move. But Penta doesn't move. And as he gets closer to Penta, he keeps telling him to move, but Penta, he gets up out of the chair and he steps forward. Both men are staring each other down. Before anything too wild can happen, Pearce gets in between him. He says, enough, enough, enough. And he looks at both men. You know what? You both want Seth Rollins. Priest, I know you wanted to prove that you were the better man last week. And, well, Penta, he deserves a measure of revenge. So you know what? Next week, I'm going to do some thinking, and I'll let you know what we're going to do about Seth Rollins. Both Priest and Penta, they look confused here, but Pearce smiles, and they leave the office. Next up is our singles match between Randy Orton and Jon Moxley. Randy Orton, he makes his way out. I hear voices in my head. They talk to me. They understand. He makes that cold, calculated walk down to the ring. Then out comes Jon Moxley. He makes his way down through the crowd. His theme song, Wow Thang, is playing. The bell rings, and neither man is really backing down here. Moxley charges. He tackles Orton into the corner, unloading punches. Orton fights back with some very calculated strikes. Mox is laughing. He wants to fight here. He wants the chaos. And Orton, he just wants destruction. He doesn't really care who he gives it to. Orton catches Moxley with a big snap power slam. The crowd explodes. Orton starts really stalking Moxley here. Moxley rolls to the outside and Orton follows. They're fighting everywhere, all around the ringside area. Moxley throws Orton into the steel steps, and the steps fly apart, crashing into the barricade by the fans. Eventually, Orton responds by dropping Moxley spine first across the announce table. The action does eventually get back into the ring, and Moxley hits a big running knee. He goes for a cover real quick. 1, 2. Orton kicks out, and Moxley, he locks in a sleeper hold on Orton. Orton's fighting. The crowd's rallying behind Moxley. Orton escapes. He tries for a quick RKO attempt, but Moxley, he pushes him away and gets Orton into a paradigm shift. DDT. 1, 2. No. Moxley can't believe it. Both men eventually get back up to their feet. They're exchanging punches, lefts and rights. Orton, Mox. Orton gains control. RKO, and Moxley rolls out of the ring using his instincts here. Orton follows, and Moxley, he's kind of crawling, trying to get his situational awareness about him. Orton looks like he's going to clear off the announce table, but no. He has a devilish look in his eye, and he backs up. He's looking for that punt kick. He's looking to take off the head of Jon Moxley. The crowd, some of them are excited, some of them are booing. No, Orton, no! He's getting ready for that punt kick attempt. He charges. He's running full force. All of a sudden, a steel chair flies from the crowd. Crack! Dropping Orton down. Who is it? DDP appears. He stands on top of the barricade. The crowd, they're cheering for DDP. DDP jumps off. He's attacking Orton. Pummeling Orton. As Orton rolls away and escapes through the crowd. Moxley, he turns around DDP and he gets all up in his face. What the hell are you doing? Why are you interfering in my match? Moxley just wanted to fight here. And then before too long, Moxley and DDP, they're nose to nose. They're about to throw down here. Before they can, Adam Pearce appears on the entranceway. He's got the mic. And he says, you know what, since nobody can keep their hands to themselves, and everybody is in each other's business next week, DDP, Mox, you're taking on Orton and Kane in a tag match before you each will get singles matches against your respective opponents at the Event Horizon pay-per-view August 1st. Despite this news, Moxley and DDP just stare each other down in an easy alliance heading into next week. Next up, we get the rubber match between PAC, the Bastard PAC, and Tommaso Ciampa, the Psycho Killer. So PAC enters the ring. He's looking to prove that he belongs amongst the elite. And they're tied up here, PAC and Ciampa, one and one. Ciampa enters. He's looking like he wants to hurt somebody. And the match begins. This is full speed here. PAC uses his agility. Ciampa, he's very brutal here. PAC is targeting the legs of Ciampa, and Ciampa targets that neck of PAC. PAC hits a big springboard kick. Ciampa answers with a big brutal clothesline. And Ciampa, he eventually starts dismantling PAC. German suplex. Running knee attempt. PAC escapes. PAC hits a big super kick, and then a roundhouse kick. He goes for a big springboard moonsault, gets the cover. 1, 2, no. PAC climbs. He's looking for that black arrow attempt off the top rope. He jumps. Ciampa moves last minute, and PAC crashes down. And Ciampa immediately attacks the knee of PAC. He drags him up. PAC is fighting back. Punches. Ciampa gets knocked down once again. PAC goes up, slowly this time to the top rope. And Ciampa meets him. Trapping him on the top rope. Heavy strikes. Ciampa gets a big superplex, smashing down PAC in the center of the ring. Eventually, Ciampa is the first one up to his feet. He gets in the corner. He pulls down that knee pad, exposing the knee. He's going to go for that running psycho knee. He's just rearing to go. He's ready for PAC to get up. He runs, hits the big knee, goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. And our winner, Tommaso Ciampa. Next out comes the Game, Triple H. He's already got his long, wet hair. He's got his denim leather jacket on. He grabs a mic. He says, you know what? Last week, I reminded Eddie Kingston exactly who he was standing across the ring from. Now it's time to get back where I belong, to the top. Music hits. A swerve when I drive. Swerve Strickland appears with Umaga right next to him. And Swerve, he slowly meanders down to like the middle of the entrance ramp. Hunter, you keep talking about the past. That you're the game, the king, the legend. But then he points at himself, Swerve does. He says, you know what? But this is my era now. Triple H, he doesn't wait. He slides out of the ring, lifts up the ring apron. He's looking for something. And it's the sledgehammer. The crowd is screaming. They're excited. They explode. And he's charging up the ramp. But Umaga steps in between them. Hunter and Umaga, they're staring each other down. Swerve smiles a minute here. And he says, like, you want me, Hunter? Fine. But first, you gotta survive Umaga. So singles match is made for later on tonight. Umaga, Triple H, 1-on-1. Next up is another singles match. Macho and Randy Savage. Yeah. Taking on the Mad King, Eddie Kingston. So the crowd is split here. Two different personalities colliding. But Macho Man, he's been on a mean streak, and he's definitely leaning heavily into that heel persona entering this match. And Macho Man, he's looking to get back towards the world title picture. He's been too far away. He wants to show everybody why he's the cream of the crop. Yeah. And Eddie Kingston, he enters angry. He's coming up off that loss from Triple H, and he just needs to let out some aggression. Eddie Kingston, he just power walks straight to the ring. He's got nothing, no playing of the crowd. He's got something to prove here. And when the bell rings, Kingston charges immediately at Macho Man. But Savage tries to slow him down, tries to get him in some like headlocks and kind of really take this towards the mat game. But Eddie overwhelms him here. Pure aggression, heavy chops, forearms, corner punches. Kingston is just unloading everything he's got at Macho Man Randy Savage. Savage, he retreats to the outside. He's frustrated. He's throwing his hands. Kingston follows him right behind him, right on him. He grabs Savage, throws him back into the ring, and then Kingston hits a big, brutal exploder suplex, going for a recover pinfall attempt. 1, 2, Macho Man kicks out, though. Kingston, he doesn't slow down. He then hits a big running senton, going for another pinfall. 1, 2. No, Macho Man kicks out again. Kingston, he is getting heated here. His face is red. He's sweaty. He's just angry. He's just arguing with the ref. Ticked off. And this is where Macho sees his opening. When Kingston turns around, big thumb to the eye. The referee didn't really catch this. And the momentum starts changing here. Savage, he starts dissecting Kingston, targeting the neck, hitting hard elbows, knee strikes. Savage is really slowing down the pace, taunting Eddie. But Eddie Kingston, he's fighting back. He catches Savage with a big spinning back fist, and the crowd is on their feet. Savage ducks this attempt. Kingston spins around. Big kick to the stomach. Savage picks him up in a big body slam. The crowd knows what's happening now. Macho Man signals towards the top turnbuckle. He makes that climb. He makes that ascent to the top. He points up to the sky. Macho Man jumps up with that big flying elbow. It connects on Eddie Kingston. He hooks a leg. 1, 2, 3. And your winner, Macho Man Randy Savage. Yeah. After the match, Macho, he does pose on the top turnbuckle. He makes that motion across his waist that he is looking to go after the world title here. And the Macho Man, he's after that another title run. Next up, we go backstage once more. Finn Bálor, he finds Adam Pearce in a hallway backstage, and he's frustrated with Adam Pearce. And Finn says, I've asked you 3 times. Who attacked me? Do you know anything? Pearce tells him that, I'm sorry, but security's still investigating the matter. And we don't have any leads, no answers, no identities. Finn, he just shakes his head. So nobody knows anything here. Pearce tries to calm him down, tries to cool off our world champion Finn Bálor. And Finn says, you know what, fine. Then I want them tonight. Both of them. Or however many there are. Finn walks away. Before Adam Pearce can really respond, a voice stops Finn Bálor. Easy there, Chico. The camera turns and Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, the outsiders, they're there. Scott Hall, he smiles. We've been watching. Nash steps forward. You know what? Nobody puts their hands on you while we're around. And Finn looks at them. He doesn't fully trust them, but he needs some backup tonight. So he nods. Hall pats him on the shoulder. Don't worry. We got your back. Finn walks away. But the camera stays on the outsiders as they exchange a quick glance. Maybe a very suspicious glance as well. Next up, we have the Young Bucks taking on the Motor City Machine Guns here. The arena explodes as 2 of the greatest tag teams of their generation collide. This is a dream match for sure. The Young Bucks Super Kick Party. They enter with confidence. Matt and Nick Jackson believe they are the best tag team in wrestling history. And also in our series, they are the first tag team champions to be crowned. And then enters the Motor City Machine Guns. They enter, they're focused. And Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, they know what they got to do here. Because at the pay-per-view, there will be a fatal 4-way elimination match to crown new tag team number 1 contenders. And both of these teams will be in that match. This is just a sweet preview. The bell sounds, instant speed here. Matt Jackson and Chris Sabin, they start here. Chain wrestling. Quick counter. Sabin catches Matt with a big drop kick. Matt rolls to the outside. Nick jumps in, but Alex Shelley cuts him off. The Machine Guns, they start isolating Nick, cutting the ring in half. Fast tags, double team offense, run and kick combinations. Going for the cover here. 1, 2, but the Young Bucks, they break up the pinfall attempt. And then the Bucks regain control as Nick, he becomes a legal man and he launches Shelley into the ropes, and Matt hits a big springboard attack. The Bucks begin their signature offense. Super kicks, multiple super kicks. The crowd is counting along. 1, 2. But the Machine Guns, they refuse to stay down here. And Sabin, he catches Nick with a big tornado DDT. Alex Shelley follows with a knee strike. Cradle shock. Pinfall attempt. 1, 2. Quick save from the Young Bucks, breaking up the pinfall attempt. The crowd, they're losing their mind. Both teams are slowly on the rise. Here is Shelley attempts a shell shock, but Nick escapes. Sabin goes for a kick, and Matt blocks it. Super kick. Again, the Bucks set up the BT trigger, but Alex Shelley moves, and Sabin saves his partner. Everybody is eventually knocked down here. And then the match starts reaching its final moments here. Suddenly, the lights kind of flicker a little bit. The crowd turns, and out comes a tag team of Rhythm and Blues. Honky Tonk Man and Greg the Hammer Valentine. They rush the ring. They both got guitars in their hands, and they start attacking everybody. And Jimmy Hart, their manager's behind them, screaming along ringside with his megaphone. The referee has no choice, and this match is thrown out. No contest, no clear winner. And Rhythm and Blues just want to just put a damper on this tag team division. Next up is our singles match between Triple H and the Samoan Bulldozer Umaga. So the atmosphere seems to kind of change here in the arena. This isn't just a wrestling match. This is a hard-hitting war. Triple H, he enters. He does not have a sledgehammer here, but he knows Umaga is a monster. And Umaga enters with Swerve watching from ringside. The bell sounds, and Triple H immediately starts to outsmart Umaga. He starts targeting one of the big meaty legs of the Samoan. Chops, kicks, knee strikes. But Umaga, he started to absorb everything here. And eventually Triple H charges. Umaga catches him in a big Samoan drop. The ring shakes. Cover. 1, 2. Triple H kicks out. And Swerve, he's laughing from ringside. He's loving this beatdown that Umaga is starting on Triple H. So Umaga, he continues dominating here. Big corner splash. Running clothesline. He picks up Triple H for another big Samoan drop. Dropping down the game. Umaga climbs to the top. He's looking for a big splash. He jumps. Triple H rolls out of the way last minute, and Umaga crashes down. Hunter, he finally sees an opening. It's a big face buster on Umaga. And he then is able to hit a big spine buster as well, and the crowd explodes. Triple H, he's pounding the mat. He flexes. The game is back, and he waits. Umaga slowly starts to stir. Triple H, he's looking for that pedigree. Kick to the gut. He goes to hook the arms of Umaga. The crowd rises. They're on their feet. Suddenly, house call. Big kick to the side of the head. Triple H goes down, and the ref calls for the bell. You're winning by DQ. Triple H. And Swerve and Umaga just start beating down on him. 2-on-1. Triple H tries to fight back, but that kick to the head has him disoriented. He can't. And then all of a sudden, the lights kind of shake. The crowd erupts, and out comes big Van Vader. Vader, he storms down to the ramp. He starts destroying everybody. Clothesline, body attack, a big splash. Swerve and Umaga, they retreat. Triple H, he grabs a mic. He's breathing heavy. He's bruised. He's angry. And he looks directly at Swerve. You wanted my attention. You got it. And now you're going to find out why they call me the Cerebral Assassin. A graphic pops up across the bottom of the screen as the next week, Vader has had his issues with Swerve and Umaga. And now Triple H has his issues with both of them as well. So next week, in a triple threat match, Swerve Strickland, the game Triple H and Big Van Vader will duke it out. And that will be our go-home show before the pay-per-view. So now it is our main event time, as Finn Balor and the Outsiders will take on the Masked Attackers, whoever they may be. So Finn Balor, our world champion, the Prince, he enters first. He looks around. He knows something doesn't feel right. Something feels wrong. He makes his entrance first, and then out comes the Outsiders, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. They follow. And they look cool. They look confident here. And the announcers really question what they're supposed to say as whoever these masked attackers might be. So some random music starts playing. But nobody comes down. Nothing happens. The arena kind of goes dark. The lights return. Nobody appears. And the crowd, they start to get restless. And Finn, he's looking around. He's looking disappointed and angry. He's looking towards the entrance ramp, then towards Hall and Nash, and the realization starts to set in that maybe this is just not what it's supposed to be. So he turns back towards the entrance ramp once more. Scott Hall slowly takes off the shades that he wore, and Nash smiles, a devilish smirk. Finn turns around too late. Scott Hall attacks him from behind. The crowd erupts in shock. Kevin Nash, he joins in, and they're just the Outsiders. They were the attackers all along. They helped Finn Balor beat the NWO, Bronson Reed, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and Braun Strowman to get that world title. And it looks like they want their pound of flesh. So Scott Hall, he's laughing. You really believed us. Nash, he grabs Finn. And anyways, he helps Scott Hall lift up Finn Balor into the razor's edge. But all of a sudden, Finn fights. He slips out. And Nash sees this. He runs with a big charging big boot. Finn, he ducks down. And Nash connects with Scott Hall, totally leveling out his tag team partner. Scott Hall, he crashes to the outside. He falls through the ropes. The Prince, our world champion, he sees his opportunity. He runs. Sling blade. Finn, he's looking all fired up. Nash starts to get to his feet. Big shotgun drop kick, sending Kevin Nash crashing into the corner. And then down onto the mat. Finn climbs to the top. The crowd, they're on their feet. He looks down at Kevin Nash. Big jump, coup de grace, driving his feet into the chest of Big Daddy Cool. Then he's standing in the center of the ring. Scott Hall, he's holding his jaw as him and Kevin Nash, they're on the outside. They're backing up the entrance ramp, keeping their eyes on our world champion. Their plan for tonight failed miserably, as our world champion somehow had eyes in the back of his head. They tried to manipulate him. They tried to destroy Finn Balor. Our commentators even going to say, this might be the biggest failed betrayal in Reckoning history. The Outsiders, they were behind everything, but Finn Balor, he survived this trap. And the camera pans back to our world champion. He's standing on the turnbuckle. He's yelling at the Outsiders as they're backing up to the ramp. And this war is definitely far from over. And our show goes off the air. So that is the end of Reckoning for this week. But next week, on our go home episode, before the pay-per-view, we will see DDP and Moxley taking on Orton and Kane in a tag match. Bam Bam Bigelow on a one-on-one match against the House of Darkness's Brody King. Damian Priest and Penta We'll learn about Adam Pearce's decision on what to do with the Seth Rollins situation. We will also hear from the outsiders, their betrayal on the world champion, and a big triple threat match between Triple H, Big Van Vader, and Swerve Strickland. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. And if you haven't yet, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. This series is going to be going on for a long time if I can help it. So, whenever you listen to this, have a good morning, night, afternoon, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.